10-4. Good evening. I do believe we should be live. OBS is telling me so. Have a little look in here. Yep, so I think everything's good. Welcome to the stream. Today's plan of action, want to wrap it up. I didn't know anything. Right, so want to wrap it up. Get the knobs back on the front. Get the front panel back on. I have the new lamps we were waiting for. For those of you who remember 2 weeks ago now, the reason this got delayed was because I broke one of the power lamps. As you can see right there, the wires came straight out the back of it. So, in this packet here, I have 2 brand new lamps. We're going to get those installed for the power and stereo lights. The stereo light survived, but the both those lamps, the LEDs have been changed, so we might as well put brand new ones of these in. £8 for 2 delivered. Not the best, but also not terrible. What else was I going to say? All the front panel stuff's done, so it really is just finishing it off as such. And we should be sorted. I do need to clean the front panel dials. Because I haven't done that yet, and there's one of them where the middles come out, so we'll have to fix that. Other than that, I think that's about everything. The dial cord went back on last time. I think the lights should go back on, hopefully. Yeah, so we should be good. Let me change over the scene real quick so we can see a little bit more stuff. Yeah, that's fine. Bitrate is fine. So, I think I'm going to start with the lamps, probably. Actually, I might do the, I'm alright, thanks OneDrive. I think I'll clean the front panel controls first. Should be a little easier. I also, any of you who remember 2 weeks ago when we did the power testing, you'll remember we were getting like, I think it was 24 watts out of it, which I commented at the time was too high. I had this, I rewatched the stream, I had the signal generator set at 1.7 volts instead of 1.2 peak to peak, which is why the we're getting a bit too much, because the aux input is expecting 1.2 volts from a tape deck, which is also why CD players sound really loud on older equipment. It's because they're expecting a 1.2 volt line input, and most CD players will give out 2 volts. I'm not sure why they changed, but that is the cause of that. Yeah, I'll clean the front panel stuff first. Which one was missing? This one was missing its insides, yeah. So it's keyed, so it should just find its way and clip into place. And then we've got these ones. They're honestly not too bad. They're just dirty, they're not scuffed or anything. So that should be fine. We have these, I must remember to put these back in. They go in the front panel. That's the sort of thing I'd forget. I think I know which screws go where. There's not many screws left, so it should be fairly okay to sort that out. Do I have any cloths? I have one right at the back of the computer. Here we go. Watch straps come off now. Git. There we go. Right then. I have some soapy water. This isn't elbow grease. It's labelled as such. This is actually the tub that went in the ultrasonic tank, but it'll get the job done for these. And I could do with a towel to spray them on. I'll use this. Let's sit them on this rag. Spritz them so they can be soaking. And then clean them individually. I might polish them. I'm not sure if the metal polish might be a bit aggressive for them. I'll see how they look after a clean. No, I should do. I'll give them all a clean individually on here. What just fell? I don't know. It's fine. I did actually just buy a new pack of microfiber cloths. I've not got a clue where they've gone. They're out there somewhere. I could do with a toothbrush actually to get into that gap. I'm not sure I have one on hand though. Unless I just try and force this in there. Yeah, that should do. Just about reaching. Yeah, grand. Like I said, they're not too dirty, they're not stained or scuffed or anything, they're just general usage dirt over the past 50 years. Although I do think it has been cleaned at some point, especially with the work that's gone on inside. A bit more on there. Yeah, this is sort of the boring bit. The electricals are sort of done. It's just cleaning the front bits. I've cleaned the front panels and stuff off camera. Well, I did that 2 weeks ago before the last stream. So they've been done a while. Probably a bit dusty. Do a quick dust over before they go back on. Yeah, that's getting in there. Perfect. As for when this stereo's finished, what else we can expect? I've bought 3 VCRs of varying ages, so there should be some good content in them. If nothing else, watching me fail to put them back together will be a laugh. Handheld video camera, which goes with one of the VCRs. One of them's a portable thing I attach you on, so that should be quite good. Whether I'll live it or make a video, I'm not sure, but keep an eye out for that. I will try and get around to it at some point. Get the crap out of there like that. Yeah, that looks nice. How many more are there? 5. Some of them are different sizes. I think the smaller ones were treble and bass. Possibly. We'll find out if it looks stupid when they go back on. Yeah, let's try and get in this groove. The groove's the annoying bit with these. If I'd remembered, and I've done them in the sink beforehand, but I just completely forgot. So, cloth and soapy water will do. No. Pop them there so they can fully finish drying. Then, probably do lamps next. I don't think anything else needs cleaning. That's the top of it. It's under the bench. That should go back on. Yeah, I don't think these are going to need polishing. They've come up very shiny as is. And then get it back together and play some tunes out of it, which should be good. Now, as for the few things I'm going to do to this receiver after this live event, which I don't want to do in here in a minute, tiny little bit of surface rot on the top of this transformer, so I'll mask off around there, sand it, and just give it a just in a spray paint, just to stop it spreading. It would be a good while before that spreads, but I'll still get rid of it because I'm selling it. And I'm fully happy with it. That's the only real issue left with it as such. Little few scuffs on here, so I might actually try metal polishing this one. Just try and get those out. Just try and get the crap out of here like that. Perfect. Yeah, I'll give metal polishing a go with that. Do I have another cloth? Yes. I don't know if they'll come out or not, but I'll give it a go. Just a bit of that on there. No, possibly. They might be coming out. Okay, well they haven't come out, but they're definitely reduced in their appearance, blending a bit better. But yeah, polishing hasn't changed the actual reflectiveness of it, so I'm not going to bother with the rest of them. That looks good. How many more? 2. I'll put the lid on the metal polish before it goes walkabouts. Yeah, that can go on there for safety. Yeah, let's give these a good wipe. I don't think I did the buttons in the sink because I remember taking them out of the front panel in the sink. I didn't know they would come out and then one popped out. So they should be nice and clean. Although, like I said, they have been on the shelf for a couple of weeks. Should be alright. Perfect. And then the last one. Then we can do something more interesting. Cool. They look nice. Let's get this folded up and out of here. Clean the bench as well while it's here. Cool. Put it down there so I don't use it again. Right, they're clean. They can go back on. I think next I want to try and figure out how this goes. So we have the tuning meter here, and it goes somehow into this bracket. Now the only way I can see how it could go into that bracket, well, I see screw holes through it here, which when I line, does that make sense? No, that doesn't make sense. Pretty tricky one of how it goes in. I can't remember doing it because it was 3 weeks ago. Possibly that way. Not that way. Possibly the other way. I'll just mess with it until something makes sense. So, like that. Possibly like that. And then that would go how? That would go under there. I don't see how it could go under there. I think it definitely goes, which way? That way? No. Think about it. That way? No. Okay, I don't know how it goes. This way? No. Right, hang on. Screws in from underneath. Right, that's that figured out. So if it's going to be screwed in there, how is that going to show? It's going to have to be that way. But that makes no sense at all. Let me try and place this. Now that goes in there. We figured that out. But then how does that, unless that sits... Let me try and pull the wires down. Unless that goes in and that just holds it. Like that. And then that just sits on top. Well, actually there was two, what they called. It had these things on it. With these screws. I'll bring these down. How did these go? Because these must have something to do with it. Yeah, left and right. But that can't screw into there. Can it? No. Like that? No. This is where taking pictures helps. So, we have this. We've figured out that that goes under there like that. But that's angled, so it must go like that. Happen. Possibly. Let me try and figure it out. Unless that's not a spacer. I should have paid more attention to how this came out. But it definitely goes in. I'll have a look at what I'm doing here to help. Unless it screws in. Oh, but there's no screw there, so it can't. That's impossible for it to do that. Let me make sure this isn't in the way of the tuning dial, because I imagine it will get in the way in a minute. Let's pull this up and out. Should be all under there like that. So that has to go in there like that. That's a given. This would come under it and screw in. The other way round. Is that right? Yeah. So that screws in that way. But then that's not actually holding it. Oh, no, that is holding it. So what are these for? Because surely, well, these came off it, so they need to go back on it. But what were they doing? I don't know. Tell you what, let me put these screws in and we'll see how it holds it. And if it holds it and there's nothing wrong with it, it doesn't need the spacers. Until I figure out why it did have the spacers and have to take it back apart again. But for now, let's just pop these in and see what happens. Because at the minute it seems to be pushing through fine. I'm going to say that's fine. I'll keep them there for later. Don't drop in the broom. Right, so that's that in, that's fine. Next thing to do is definitely the front bulbs. So I'll change one and then the other. Will this heat shrink come off? Yes. What a horrible soldering job. I also still haven't found any snips, so it might not be ideal. To get these off, actually I'll unbox the new lights first. So I got these from That's Audio. They were £8, not a bad deal. Posted, quick. Good evening, Sam. How are we doing? Yeah, slow mode's on for a reason, unfortunately. Let's have a look at these. They should. I've gone with lamp bulbs again, just because they're not going to make much of a difference. Yeah, these look. Where's an original gone? Okay, so they're slightly bigger than original. Not that much bigger. I think they should fit in because there's lots of room at the back. Let's have a little sampler. Let's pop it through here. Yeah, that's going to fit perfectly. Right, I don't want to break them because we saw last time how fragile they are. There we go. Right, I need to get... How is this? It looks like it's been wire wrapped and all sorts, so I don't really want to mess with it. So I think I'm going to tack onto these cables here. Cut a bit off. Like that. Get some fresh wire and go from there. I'll put the iron on so it's ready. Yeah, and then heat shrink it onto these two here. I don't think... I want to keep a bit of wire so we have enough to manoeuvre, but I don't want to put too much wire on. I mean, that had a fair bit. Actually, this is the stereo light. Makes sense that we're going to the tuner, and this is just coming straight out of the transformer. I reckon about that much wire should be enough. So I'll cut it here. If these snips will actually cut it. There we go. Makes me laugh how on a halogen bulb they have two positive and negative wire. Probably the same batch they use for the LEDs. Right, let's strip that. And then strip this. That stripped properly. It's stripped well enough. Right, yeah. And then strip these sides, pop it in, and then see if it works would be a good idea. No, it should work. Check it works, shall I say. Check I've not done it wrong. I shouldn't have done. Right, sound. That's warmed up. Solder wire. Here. Let's tin this up. I should put heat shrink on first before I forget. That size or that size. I think this stuff's pretty crap. I think this one. No, that one should be best. I think. Yeah, that'd be perfect. You're in the wrong place, Sam, if you're looking for We Play today. Not happening, unfortunately. Possibly another day. It involves me being active, which isn't the best of combinations. Is this going to cut? No, it isn't. Let's try it with this one. That's done it. That's a better cutter. I need to buy some snips. It's very inconvenient not having them. But it's fine. We'll use that. Right. Pop these on here. Right. Let's tin these because I haven't done yet. Yeah, no We Play today, Sam. No We Play. No. Oh, that's a chisel tip. Alright. You should get the job done. The insulation on that's horrible. Probably shouldn't be melting it. Let's grab that. These I cut, so they'll need redoing. Do over the edge of the bench here. Grab that. That's probably a bit longer than it needs to be, so I'll cut it. Yeah, that'll be fine. Alright, let's chuck this on. Try and get it on straight so we get a good length. That'll do. That's what we call good enough. And then stitch this one on here. Cool. Right, I don't know if this bit's going to flake off, this excess bit. No, it'll be alright. Let's slide that over there. That over there. That should be fine. Make sure no, this is metal. That can't be sitting in there when we turn it on. That's fair then. Yeah. Let's just turn it on and see if that power light comes on. I have every faith it will, but you never know. There's no metal knocking about, is there? Nope. Cool. Activate. Yeah, perfect. There we go. That lamp is on. Let me hold it up to the power light. Yeah, that should work quite well. If I just turn it off. Let me try and poke this in here just to get a gist of how it's going to look. And then try and fit this roughly under there like that. Turn it on. Yeah, that lights up fine. That's cool. Then change the other one. Perfect. That's off, isn't it? Yep. Right, let's heat shrink. Actually, we'll heat shrink them all in a minute. Let's try and get this bulb out of here. I'm not sure how willing it's going to be to come out of here. It has this sort of silicone stuff around it. I might try and replace that with a bit of hot glue just to hold them in, especially with it being shipped around. Or some blue tack would probably do the same job. It's really on there. It's funny because the other one just completely fell off. I also don't want to crack. I don't know what material this is they've used, but I want to try and avoid cracking it if possible. Let me just move the new one over there out of the way. There we go. That's got a big chunk of it off. Is this going to wiggle through now? I feel like it's going to crack whatever this surrounding block is. Or stab me, one of the two. Oh, it's really in there. Unless I can pull it through the top, because I don't care about the bulb in here, obviously. We're getting a brand new one. These are just a bit too thick for it. Damn it. Well, the wires have come out, the bulb's still in. That's fine though, we can strip them. This should push through this side, hopefully. With minimal fuss. I think that's got it moving. Has it got it moving? No. It's gone straight back to where it was. Come on. Get out of it. Bugger off. Your time's done. Sod off. There it goes. The menace. And interesting enough, the legs actually came with this one, so I will keep that as a spare in case I need another one. And the shroud has just about survived what just happened to it, which is good. Let's pull this bit of gumph out of here. Old wire insulation and crap. If it will. Fiddly little shit. I'm going to try and send it back through the other side where I can grab it. Like so. Yeah, a little bit of crap there. Right, they're opened up again. So we can cut this. This really doesn't need to be that long, and that length's fine, so we can cut this about here and we'll have more than enough length. Cool. And then tin them up, chuck them on. Bob's your uncle. That can go back now. Right. Grab this, which still has some crap on the end, so it might not. There we go. That went down there, so that's no problem. And then this one. There we go, grand. Right, don't lose that, that's the new build. Tin this without flicking solder everywhere. I think this is actually solid core wire, which is nice. Did I finish that? No. And then cut these and tin these. And that's one. Come here, you bitch. That's two. Right, tin these, put them on. I won't be able to check this one's working until I get a aerial on the back. But the fact that the power light worked tells me I'm doing it right. Let's have another one of these. Which was the one I used for the other one? Was it one of these? No, that's too thin. Which is the perfect one? That one. Spot on. Oh, where's it gone? It's on the chair. Close, but not quite. Grab that. Right, let's slide these over here. I don't know what this YMS is. There's a twist tie and a solder on. It works, so I'm going to leave it. That's the whoever put the LEDs in. They work. They look presentable. It's fine. I don't want to start messing with it because it will probably break. Let's tin the legs of this lamp. Cool, and then tack this onto here. Cool, and then try and grab this one here. That's a bit long, it needs shrinking. Do it outside the receiver so we don't drop in and snap it all up. Let's try and bend this around so we're at a better angle. Like so. Perfect. Right, that can go off because they're in, and the heat gun can come on. Turn that off. Just check I aren't blocking the dial string, which I'm not. I've put that over there, that should be fine. Yeah, I'll zip tie all the wires up later so they don't get in the way of each other. And these look fine. Right, let's pull that bit of melted insulation off and then heat shrink these. Where's that gone? All the way down there. Come here. There we go. Over there. Now do this bit first, otherwise it's going to drop down. 140 degrees, that should do. Crap. Don't do that. This heat gun doesn't have... Is it hot? No. This heat gun doesn't have a screw, it's just a friction fit, which can be annoying. Oh, that just isn't gripping at all. What if I put it on sideways a bit? That's got it. Menace. Possibly do an upgrade soon. Ideally, you just use a lighter for doing heat shrink, but if you can't tell, I've not got one. Yeah, show like this. Perfect. Grand. Fantastic. Ow, it's hot. And then do this one. That'll do. I'll put that there. Are they shrunk? Yeah, perfect. Tuck that out of the way carefully, and then do these two here. Should be a bit easier, maybe. Probably not. Stop moving. There we go. Good. Yeah, and this one. Good. Right, that'll do. Turn that off. Right, so there's both the lamps done. They need to go into this shroud. I don't know if I have any blue tack knocking about. So I think we'll use hot glue. I don't think the glue comes in here though, is it? No. I'll use that iron to melt a bit on and put a crappy tip on. Yeah, that'll be fine. So this eventually gets mounted up there once the lights are on. I just sort of sort out what's going on with these because they are a bit of a mess at the minute. They can actually go back in now. It sits under. Does it sit on top of here? It does, doesn't it? Does it sit on top of here? Or does it sit? Yeah, it does sit on top of here because there's the screw holes. Makes sense. Right, so that wants to go down there and we'll sit eventually in there. So that needs to go on first. And these are going to go into here. So this is the power light on the left. It should just tip in there. And then this is the stereo indicator light. Should just pop into there. That's actually quite a tight fit. I don't think it's going to fit. I'll have to open it up a bit carefully. I think there's still some crud in here. Let's hide that out. Make room. There we go. That should be better. And then this should carefully push in without sliding the whole thing out ideally. Yeah, perfect. That's them two in. They just need securing a little better than what they are now. I think originally the rubber grommet they're going into would have held them, but that has since disintegrated a bit. What am I going to use to hold these in? Let's just pop them down there for now. I think the cord for action is a bit of melted hot glue. Where are the sticks? They're up here, if I remember correctly. Glue sticks. Come here. There we go. Yeah, let's just grab a little bit of an offcut like this. Pop it on here. And then just glue around it, minding the front display that it's resting against. And that should do. Just to stop it wobbling about. It's not going to be under much stress. Just try and melt that into there. Perfect. And then another bit. That's probably a bit too much. I want about half of that. Snip. And that should just flow into here. Oh, you bastard, come here. Alright, let's get this in here. And then clean the iron tip before it all dries on. Or burns on, I should say. Alright, perfect. Give that a clean. I'm too lazy to go get the glue gun. Glue gun would have probably put way too much on, to be honest. Cool, right, that's fine. They should be now secured in. I don't know what screws were holding the chassis in. There's 2 here. Does it look like it might be these? It certainly does. I'll put those in. They'll do. But yeah, those bolts are nice and secure. Feed it under here and pop it into there, and then try and find where the screwdriver's gone. Was it these screws? I'm not sure. They're not going in very nicely, so I'm going to say not. Possibly these. These all look very front panelly. Yeah, that's better. That's that. And grab another one for this side. And then we'll give it another power test. Or do I put this front LED light in first? I kind of want to put this in first. Actually we need a screw in here to hold this clamp in, which I'm assuming is going to be one of these. Just nip that up. Cool. Right, LEDs can go in. Slide in like that. Possibly these are for the LEDs. We'll find out. They look a bit coarse for the LED. Oh no, these are for the LEDs. Yeah, perfect. Where's the other one gone? So yeah. That in there. I've trapped that wire, but it should just pull. Oh, that's for that, isn't it? Let's carefully try and route that around. I don't want it to break again. There we go. Perfect. I'll have to get all the cables out of the way of the dial string, but I can do that in a minute. Well, the pedal light's on, so that's working. I have no reason to believe why the stereo light wouldn't work. Let's kill these. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, cool. So that's working. So that's all the electrical bits done on this receiver. Let me get these out of my way. I think next the front panel can go back on. I don't see any reason why it can't. I do want to secure these wires out of the way of the tuning dial though first. So let's have a look. That'll go over it. If I fold these over there, should go under it. That should have a clear path. These aren't long enough. Oh no, this one is. There we go. Yeah, they're long enough to sort of wrap around the mains filming caps. This lift up a bit. Oh, that's a squeak. Where's that coming from? Is it coming from here? Sounds like it's coming from down here. I hate pinpointing noise sources. That's still doing it. Let's lock this in. That's still doing it. Is it this? It's just at the end of here. I want to say it's this slider. Yeah, if I lift it up. The solution to that is to whap some silicone grease in there, which I wasn't going to do because I thought it rolled on a foam pad, but meh, it'll shut it up, it's fine. Which is here. I don't know if I have a new cotton bud to apply it with. I forget every time I go to the Aldi's. Luckily there's 2 in here and one side hasn't been used. Let me wipe it off on this. There we go. Let's get a line of this on here. That's way too much. Ridiculous. There we go. Let's just bung that in there. Get a nice smearing across. That should shut it up. Let's give that a try. No, that's come with me. Everything's greasy now. Yeah, that stops that. Yeah, perfect. Right, that's that fixed. That won't come back again. Not for another 20 years till that grease dries out. Cool, that's done, lights are back on, new bulbs are in. I'll unplug it for now. I think next course of action is to get the front back on. That's gone cold. Grand. Right, yeah. Front back on. I think that's about it. Then we can listen to some tunes. Where's the front gone? That's the top, that's the side. Oh, bottom. Bottom needs to go back on. Front can go back on first though. Why not? Yeah, this is... Oh, it's a bit dusty. This could do with a clean before it goes back on. At least the front side of it. Let's get some spritz on it. Clean bit of the cloth. Obviously. Yeah, there's some watermarks from where I didn't dry it properly after it was in the sink. Let's give it a dry off. Yeah, that should be good now for the inside. Cool. Speaking of front panel, actually I wanted to try and polish. Let me get this out of the way because there's more I want to do to this that I've forgotten about. I don't know if it will show up, but on this bottom metal piece there's some grot. I don't know if you can see it or not. I want to see if that will polish out. I mean, hopefully it will. But we'll find out in a minute. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. Give it a go. I don't know what it is, this grotty stuff. It didn't clean off, however, so... Oh, that's all gone to pot now. Look at that. Don't bring the screwdriver to it. Yeah, scoop it up. Grand. Probably want a bit more on than this, but whatever. It'll be fine. Alright, let's have a crack. It's definitely polishing. Hopefully I don't take it off and it's all ruined. Alright, it's definitely working and my finger's getting hot. Yeah. Taking some off. Let's clean it off now. That's looking better. Let's grab some alcohol, actually some soapy water. Probably do it. Yeah, so you can see I need to do a bit more. It sort of dulled the finish a little bit, but it's taken all the scuffs out of it, so once it's all the same colour, you're never going to know. Yeah, that'll look better. Cool, need more polishing though. I actually quite like that, yeah. More silver. We have to wash this again now because it'll be covered in bloody metal polish. Have along here like that. Try not to metal polish the glass or the text. The text won't like being polished, especially with this stuff. Yeah. So I've got to take a bit more polish than I thought it might, but it's definitely going to look a lot better for that. Oh yeah. I don't know if the camera will show that or not on this bit where I've done a bit more. If it'll focus, I don't know, I can't see if it's focused, the stream preview's behind. But yeah, that'll look great once that's done. Need some more though. I should probably get a better cloth for this. Probably not ideal using this. I'll tell you right now, it gets very warm. I'm burning my finger. Still survive. Oh, don't go on the text. Get off there. You git. It's not where I want you to be. There we go. Oh, it's in the gap now. Oh, it's fine. It'll come out eventually. Get in there. It's taking a bloody while. I don't think the masking tape's in here, is it? I thought about masking it off, but it's fine. I'll just be careful. I should have really got some close-up pictures of it beforehand, but it should be fine. The stream's probably picked it up. I'll be able to grab some. Yeah, that was good. It gets very warm, which makes sense. It's taking material off. Stop going on the bloody text. You menace. I think it's user error, if anything. That's really warm. Mad how warm that gets. That's alright, there's only that bit left. I'll leave the tops because that looks fine. Cool. I actually am considering taking it all off because now it looks weird where there's a gap. Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know if you can see, if you look at the this corner here, when the light shines on it, there's a slight difference. Yeah, I'm gonna polish it all back. And you really will never know what's happened to it. It should be a bit easy to do because A, it's thinner, and B, there's no text to worry about scrubbing off. Ow, I'm actually burning my thumb. That's insane. It's now that I'm starting to wish I got the Dremel out, but not to worry. That's that bit. Yeah, that looks good. I'll give it all another wipe down once it's finished. Yeah, cool. One of the rare times when I polish something, it actually makes it better and not worse. Be careful on this text here. Yeah, let's get this done. It's really hot. I thought it would have got that hot, to be honest. Interesting. I haven't done this side, have I? No. Thought I was at the end, but I'm not. That's fine. Look at that. Nice. I like. I change finger. That's a bit too much for this bit. It's spread just about. And whip this bit off without polishing the rest of it. Just this corner. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I'm glad I've done that. Perfect. Right. Let's give it a general wipe over because it's covered in polish remnants. However, I shall show you. All those scuffs are gone and it's all one smooth surface, which all looks the same. Really shiny because it's been polished, obviously. What's the best cloth to use for this? This thing will do. Purple one. I'll do this here, it's fine. Give it all a good clean. Like so. Yeah, that's looking great. Christ. I don't think I'm going to try and do anything with the scuffs on the top. I think they just are going to have to be. There's not much I can do with them. Without sanding the whole thing back, which isn't going to happen. Because it'll probably just end up looking crap. Because I don't have the proper kit to do that. I would check the phone, but it means moving the camera. Go on then. What's it telling me? Oh, it's out of battery. That's what it's telling me. Cool. Right, we're going down to one camera then, unfortunately. I will grab the charger for it in a minute while I go and get some other things. Yeah, I should have probably put it on charge. It's been on all day. Now I'll just hide that from OBS so it's not in the way. Which one are we looking at? This one. There it goes. Cool. Well, this is almost dried. This is looking great. Very happy with how this has come out, indeed. So there's water drip out. Cool, yeah. I'll show this to this camera. How nice that bezel's come out. We'll fit the buttons while it's drying. Carefully. I think I remember how these went. Possibly. These springs are stuck. Now you come. I think it. Have I cleaned these? Oh, I'll give him a wipe over now. Perfect. Okay, so these go in here, I think. And then that just, yeah, clips and pushes in. Perfect. That's easy enough, I can cope with that. I'll put all of the springs in, and then the buttons in one by one. Yeah. How many have we got? 4, that's good. Not lost any. It's been 2 weeks, so won't surprise me. One and 2. You don't actually see most of these buttons, so they don't have to be clean all the way down, as long as they're not minging. A bit more spritz on this towel. For, what was the last one? Yeah. And get this banged in. Dry 5, click them down. Christ. On a bike. There we go. Why don't that fit? I think these might have warped a bit. There we go. Nope. Has that one cracked? It looks like it might have done. Oh well, once it's in, it's not going to be able to go anywhere. Yeah, it's holding. Cool. Just check there's no more water knocking about in here before we put it on. A little bit in the back. Where's that towel gone? Down here. Now I've run it over. Let's grab this. Now you might notice, you don't know what to say, but there's dirt behind here, but that's where it's glued in. So it involves undoing the glue, and there's a risk of cracking the glass, and it probably won't go back on properly anyway. So I'm going to leave that for now. I don't think it'll be a problem. Just check there's no water back here. Give it a dry. There shouldn't be because it's spray up there, but it's easy to check. Right, perfect. Give this a last clean. We can clean the front once it's back together, but we can't clean behind here. Let's give it a last go. Actually, I'm going to go and grab some glass cleaning wipes, and I'll grab the phone charger as well, and I'll get the other camera back on. Right then, hopefully you're still here and I haven't cleared off. Wipes for the glass and a phone charger for the phone. I'll take it, it is a fast charger, so it should move relatively quickly. Right, let's grab in here, clean inside of here, get the front on, get the dials on, put the top and bottom on, put the sides on, and then listen to some tunes. Sounds good to me. That's getting all the dust off there nicely. Cool, right, that's that clean. Let's now put the front on. Not forgetting that these need to go on. Do these just pop in? I think they should do. Definitely not threaded. do these go? I forgot how these go. They definitely have nuts on them. And they don't go on there. They must go on the front then, surely. All the water's run down. Oh dear, let's clean this. There we go. Let's have a little look. Well, did these go? How did these go? I think they popped through. I think. Oh well, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get the thing through. Unless they just sat like that. No, I don't think they did. Let me look at a picture on the Tinterwebs. Oh no, they did sit flat. Right, that makes sense then. So they'll just sit up against the... I don't know how they're being held in though. Because they have... I know they don't have nuts to go in, do they? Speakers and input select I think did. This is where my lack of remembering doesn't come in. I have a 1/4 inch jack here actually. Right, so that with the spacer on it. That can't go there. How does that go? Where did that go? Should I say? How far does that go? I don't know. They definitely go there. I don't know how they go. I think they are just spacers. I'll pop it in like that and hope it stays. I don't understand why it has threads though. There wasn't another metal plate, was there? No, this is the last metal plate. What if I just put the front on now? If we look at how that looks, that'll give us a good indication of whether they go there. See, they don't go, or do they? Well, at the minute the microphone jacks are just straight there, which makes sense to me. Oh, actually, these things, do they go on here? Ah, they do, and that's to stop that. Alright, so this is, we found where the plastic bits go. That's good. The next question is, what are these? And why are they here? Unless they were for these. Oh, I think they were for these. See. What did I say? They're not for the headphone and mic jack. Right, that makes a lot of sense. So this front needs to come off. Where's my screwdriver? This'll do. So this whole black piece with the many screws. Oh well, we figured it out. Now you get one. Oh dear. Yeah, because that's, and then these go to hold the power and selector switch in. Because at the minute they're not held by anything. That's reasonable. Scotch this over. Hopefully they all come out nice and easily. I'm not using the best screwdriver for it, but I don't know where the others go. Luckily I didn't over tighten them putting them back in. Quite a lot in the middle. Yeah, get these out, put the threads in, put it back on, put the front on, put the dials on, and then listen to it make noises. Hopefully, if it doesn't make noises, there's a problem. And there'll be 4 parts to this. Right, out you lot come. Rookie mistakes going on over here. Right, come, get out. Right, last one, and then we're good. Hopefully. Furious. 10 minutes wasted. I don't think there's any on the bottom. There better really not be. Right, it should now slide out, which it has done. Oh, it has the dial cord on it. Oh, Jesus. And I remember there's a screw up here. Sneaky. What a nightmare. I should have done it properly the first time. Hopefully I can sneak it round the back. Actually, it's going to have to come all the way, isn't it? Oh, actually. Well, that one will sneak in. Where's it gone? I don't want to snap the dial string, because that would be a nightmare. Let's move it forwards. Sneak that in there. Yeah, that's better. That was a horrible sound. I think I'm going to have to loosen it to get this one in. Yeah. Oh, what a nightmare. Would I do I'll do the top one there, which I can't get to because the LEDs are in. Oh, I wonder if I can just lift it off of here. If there's enough room for that to happen. I think there is. Take that off. Move this screw. I think that should be enough room just to squeeze it under. Well, the dial cord's off it now anyway, apart from the top bit. Or is it the top bit is getting snapped on? Get off. There we go. Alright. You go in there. Right, getting the dial cord off was the easy bit. It's getting it back on that's not the easy bit. It is under a lot of tension. I don't want to snap it. Come here. Get. Ping. Let's slide it back over. Slide that back over. Slide this back over. Perfect. Right, that's exactly what I should have just done the first time, but didn't. Oh well. We'll know for next time and all the rest of it. That needs spinning so it'll fit through, doesn't it? So does this, because they only go on one way. That's through. Is this one going to come through? Or is it going to need some careful assistance? Assistance it was. There we go. Right. Now we can put the screws back in, all 8,000 of them. Trying to get one they'll line up. Here we go. Now we're in business. Let's get them banged in here. Don't go in cross-threaded. I'm going to put one on this side just to try and balance it out. Oh, this has come undone. That's why it's being weird. Yeah, there we go. The dark wood has gone through, hasn't it? Yeah. Perfect. I just don't want to stay there. Alright. Now it's in. Right, leave it there. Get a screw in quick before it buggers off. Missing the live. Yeah, the bulbs have gone in. Power and stereo have both gone in. I haven't tested stereo because I don't have an aerial in, but power's working fine. Once the phone's got some charge, I'll put the other camera back on and get a close up. Everything else had gone fine. I've polished the front where it was it had sort of a chrome finish on it, had pitted, so I've just took the chrome finish off. It looks like that. I don't know if you're about to see it. You're about to see it later. But it looks pretty good. I forgot to put in, there's two like threads that go in for the power and selector switches, which I forgot to put in. Spent the past 20 minutes thinking they were for the headphone and mic jack. So I've just had to take the front black plate off, which is holding with about 20 screws. So I'm just trying to get those buggers to go back in. Other than that, it's been pretty okay. Get in there, there we go. Pull it a bit towards the end of the desk just to help getting these screws back in, and then the front panel can actually go on at that point. I'm sure they didn't need this many screws. I'm sure this is excessive, but I'll put them all back in. Do it properly. You also meant to put this black bit in before this metal bit tensions it. So they're proving a bit tricky to get in, but they are going. How many is that left? 2. I count 3. Oh, of course, 1 goes. And snake's in here. Somehow. There we go. Make sure we get past that dial code. Oh, Pinuna. Yeah, I was in a bit of a rush. YouTube hadn't saved it. It had put all the details in for a Mario Kart Wii stream, which isn't ideal. Why isn't this going in? I can't see. That's why it's an angle to it's on the bloody floor. I don't know where the big blue screwdriver I was using has gone, so I'm using this teeny one, which is just about doing it. Try and feed it in with the dental pick. There we go. Just wind in, you beggar. Let me grab. I had a bigger Phillips head. Oh, it's up here. Just wind this in. Yeah, this actually just sort of does has to go in because it's holding the tuning wheel in. There we go. This is actually a better screwdriver. I should have used this a while ago. Right, that's back on there in. Quick 15-minute detour. I can have a look and edit the title. I think it should do. Pioneer. There we go. Save. There we go. Right, they're all in. Move that Kapton tape. Take all the dust off it. I don't know if I think the top could do a bit more polishing. I'll have a look at that once it's in though. I think I touched the back of this, did I? I'm going to give it another clean, have another wipe. Because I don't know if I mash my greasy fingers into it. Might as well before the lid goes back on. Cool, right, that should be good. Slide this back. It should dry while it's on there, so that shouldn't be a problem. We did actually find what this is for. It goes on, is that right? Does it go on there? I think it does. Let's take this out. Without scuffing it. Oh, you bastard, where's that gone? Oh, no. I knew it had to happen at some point today. It hasn't happened for a while. Let me go under here. I should fish with the magnetic bit. That's a screw, it's not the screw. Is it round here? Let's have a look. Oh no, no, is that it? Yes. There we go. Perfect. Does that go in? I feel like that needs to go and tuck into there. Like that. No, it can't tuck into there like that. In there. That doesn't fit though, so how does that go? It's definitely for this, but I don't know how it fits. Does it go up and in? No. How does that go in there then? Unless... Oh, does that pull apart? Have I pushed this all too much together? That's very possible. Let me take the other side off and see if it gives me a bit of wiggle room. Damn it. Right. That has unlocked a bit of wiggle room. So I think this needs to go in between here. Somehow. Scotch it over and then try and sneak its way into the back there. Oh, it doesn't seem to want to. There's definitely a gap for it. There we go. Is that it? Oh, but then it won't be too... I still don't think it'll fit. What else is holding this? Nothing, it's completely free, is it? Oh, this side's holding it, which means the LEDs have to come out again. $270. Can you buy them? I'd have thought you'd have had to be logged into the Google account to buy them. Is it just a case of you paste in the URL and it sends them there? I'm assuming so. Is this free now? No, I haven't taken this out. Oh, there's loads of them. Christ. You go there. Oh, there's loads of them. Alright. Stay. Oh no, that's for... Oh, they're for them. Don't undo them. They're separate. Balls. Right. Screw this back in. Whoops. It's alright. It's savable. Nip them back up. Nip this back up. Yeah, just paste the URL and it sends them there. That makes sense. That's away from that. This is the only one actually holding it. Oh, but that's not... Oh, that is attached to there, yeah. Let's just slacken that off. That gives wiggle room, which should let these slide in. Possibly. But then, where's that one going to go? Unless it bends. Let's try and get the left one in, because that's got the most bend. Yes, that fits. But does it rise? Does it fit all the way to the top? I really don't get how these are meant to go in. pull that. I mean, it's hitting on this top left corner, which makes you think it needs to go in a bit more. I don't want to force it. So let me put this down because it's getting in my way. This is free, and this is free to move about. So this will go in this way. Those go in that way. That makes a lot of sense. Right, okay. And they go in that screw hole. So I actually didn't have to undo any of this at all, and that was a waste of time. Not ideal. It's fine. Where did this? We'll leave that slack for now. These came out of here. Yeah, I was trying to get them upside down. The video I have, but I figured it'd just be quicker to guess than actually pull it up and try and see what I did. She probably might have been, I'm not sure, but I figured it out now. I should have probably watched the video back before I started live streaming, well, 2 weeks ago. Then I would have put these bits in before I screwed it all together. And would have been done a lot quicker, but no well. Right, that's left, and that's gonna go in. That's gonna go in first. Not cross-threaded. That's horrible. Right, so that goes in there. And then this, I should have been able to tell from that actually, because you can see where the, well, you probably won't be able to see, but the plastic's UV damaged, but not where it meets with that. And that goes in that way, like so. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So that's that there for the LEDs. This goes in here. Right, perfect, they're in. 2 more screws in the bottom of here. Ow. Menace. Stabbed into the tuner. And then that goes into here. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Thinking about it. Right, nip these all up. Now I've got the better screwdriver out. Yeah, on that one. Right, cool. That's in, that's in. This can be tightened up because that's in. The lights can be tightened up because they're in. Lighten that up. Yeah, it's all fitting quite nicely. Pop this in. None of the wires have gotten trapped. Quick dust in. Right, the front can go on now. It took a while, but we got there. Actually, I wanted to... Okay, I think the top of that needs a bit more metal polish. There's a few, if you get it in a certain light, there's a few remnants of the old finish left. I think a quick blast over should sort it. And then a wipe down. There's not much left. Got most of it the first time. Try not to get it all stuck down the sides again, because I've just cleaned it. Or not. Yeah, let's just blast over this. Yeah, that's getting it. Perfect. Cool. Right, let's give it a quick spritz with some soapy water. Right, so let's pop this back in because it's fallen out again. It'll be fine once it's got the switch to support it. Don't do that, you git. Not in there, not in there. Right then, let's drag it this way. I'm sure this will have to come off again at some point, but we'll try and get it on for now. At least for a bit. That's pinged out again, hasn't it? Menace, come back, get in. Once it's got the switch to support it, that won't happen. But it's just getting it to a point where the switch will support it. Like that. Right, let's get some screws in. Have that going right? Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to hold this. Which screws are going to hold the top in? We've got two left here, which I honestly think it will be these. Let's get these put in. That's a 1. And then that's a 2. These buttons are working. Sort of. Should this be pushed? Oh, there we go. Now it's clipped in. Now they're working. Right, let's get these nuts on. Oh, they need washers, don't they? Yeah. Don't go on the floor. It's alright, I've caught it. Right, let's get these on. Yeah, 1 and a 2. And then get the nuts on. And this one. And this one. And then let's carefully nip these up with the needle noses. Mind the table. Careful. Not to scuff the front panel. Cool. Right. So that means the front dials can go back on. It's been long awaited. There are no feet on it, so I don't really want to slide it about like that. It'll scuff the bottom. Yeah, I won't slide it. It'll be fine. So this is keyed, and it goes on that way, like so. And then I think the bigger ones were power. Power. Is it in the off position? Tell you what, let me slide it in. Assuming it is. No, it wasn't. Now it is. Now let's just pop that on that. Power off, A, speakers off, B, A and B. Perfect. Bass and treble were the smaller ones. So I set them all both to minimum. Yeah, they do ratchet. They're nice. And then line that up as best I can to the minimum line. A bit out there. If I do that, it'll make it easier to line up with the top. Oh right, this was the one which had this issue. Let's put some super glue in there just to hold that in, because it shouldn't come out like that. Not too much, just enough. And then just slide that in like that. And then this should go on directly, pointing upwards, like that. Perfect. Slide it on all the way. Oh, well, that's stuck well. It also hasn't stuck straight with the thing. It needs to fall into the rivet, otherwise it won't push on all the way. Let's try and get this off here. There's glue all over it now. Oh, what a mess. Come here. Move that, because that's still got glue in it, so you can reuse it. Get that off there. Unstick it off here, because that's not helping anybody. Right, which way does this need to go? It goes in that way. Let me compare it to this one. Yeah, they go down the same depth. That should be better. Set that all the way to minimum again. Try and get it on as straight as possible. Yeah, and that's gone on all the way now, which is better. Then this one, I don't know why I've got back on the chair, I have to put them all on. Same again, set to minimum, line it up, make sure they're both level. Use that. I don't think this was the power one. I think this one, if it'll come off again, it's gripped it. This one was the selector one, I think. Actually, they're the same. Possibly. I think this is the speaker one though. Which ones have we got? Okay, yeah, they're all the same. Let's put it back on. Off, B, yeah, that's a bit off. It's easiest to set it to the top and then put it on because you get a better line of sight. Shove. It don't feel like it's on straight, that. Let's look at the back of these, because it should slide over that washer, because it won't come off again. Come on. Okay, we'll leave that one for now, because it's pissing me off. We'll do, which one's this? I'm assuming it's auxiliary. Yeah. We'll do this one. Phono, FM, AM. Yeah, that one's slidden over, which this one isn't doing. I wonder if I've still got it on the wrong one. What's this? That's balance. That'll be a small one. Yeah, so you know what you're doing. That is really on there now. Christ. On his bike. I'm going to have to get some leverage on that. This towel. There we go, that's got it. I wonder if it's because this is slightly warped. Let's try and space this back out again. We need to start with a small one. That's possibly why it's not for going on. And let's put this one on. Was it on? No, it's on B. Let's give this a try now. Because it should just slide straight over. There we go. Right, perfect. That works. It just took a goddamn while. That'll be balance. That'll be selectors on. This one will be volume, which is set to minimum. So let's try and get this on. Minimum, maximum, perfect. And then balance is the last one. Last and probably least. So we'll set it to the middle and do it there, just because it's a bit more accurate. Because it really winds me up if they're not perfect. Still not perfect. That's horrible. It's getting worse. Another goddamn thing won't come off. Nightmare. Alright, out you come. On the middle. That's as close as it's going to get. That's fine. They're all pretty much in line. Okay, right. That looks good to me. Front looks good. We'll have a little lift up. Oh, the switches are back on. They all look good to me. Right, so I don't know if this is going to come back on. Let's plug it back in and check nothing goes bang. And then we'll wire some speakers up and have a little listen. Lights are on, power lights on, tuning meter's working. All looks good to me. Right, let's get the bottom and the top on and then go from there. Let's just move it over here whilst I put some towels down so I don't scuff the top up anymore. The best towels, no expense spared. That's the top, this is the bottom. That all looks fine round there. Yeah. Let's get this slotted in. It didn't go this way, did it? Did it go that way? Which way did it go? I think this way. Actually no, I think the other way. But it slides under, does it? You know, the screw hole's there and there, so it must go that way. There we go. This is a bit stubborn. Right, and I do believe this is the black screws here. Let's get these wound in. Really long screws, nightmare. Hopefully they won't have to come out again now though. Is that going in sideways? Yep. Menace. It's going to keep doing it now, isn't it? Let me slacken this one off a bit. I'm just going to shimmy around. There we go.
Can you come suck me in?
Top job announcement. I keep forgetting to turn those off. That one. This one. That one. I think I will get the cordless screwdriver out for next time. Doing it manually is driving me nuts. And last one, perfect number of screws. Finally get to hear it play some tunes after the 6 odd hours I've been streaming it. Hopefully it doesn't just set on fire. That'd be good. There's that. And this is the last one to nip up. Right, flip it over, put the top on, put the sides on. And then we should be sorted. There are a few things I'll do off stream. I'll just sit with it with a cloth and clean a few little extra bits. What's that on there? Look, it's a bit of shit. It's wiped off. Cool. Still very impressed with how this came out, considering I painted it in the garden. That goes on there, and it's these screws. How many screws are left? Only one screw didn't go back in. That's impressive. I don't know where it's from, but I can live on there now. I've still not decided what I'm going to do with the wooden panels. I'll decide it later. For now they can just go back on. Is this the right side? No, it isn't. Don't go down there, you div. Alright, this goes in here. No, it's a I actually don't know if it is off this arm, but it's a tiny little black one. That's not the long one. I might have missed it out of one of the front metal pieces, but there's enough in there that it won't matter. I don't need them anyway. That locks into there. It's definitely best to do the final cleanings in the house, because if it's in here it will just get generally dirty and dusty from all the other crap that's been going on. Mind the mic. Chuck this in. Isn't lined up, is it? No, it is. Take the nails out the back when we were testing. Cool. So that is it officially back together. I will connect the phone back up. It's got 71%, so we got plenty. If it will work. Select the device. Searching for devices. There we go. That should do. Let me add it back to OBS. Here we go. So back round the front, it's looking nice. All the scuffs off here have gone, which was making it look a bit dirty. All the buttons look nice and polished. All the text looks good. The top, which was painted, is all looking really nice. Not sure what I'm going to do about the sides yet. I'll figure that out later. But as part of what we've worked on the streams, it all looks great. At the back there of the inputs. I'm not sure what this is. It is rotten, so there's nothing you can do about that while keeping the labels. So I'm going to leave it as it is. Let me put this back to here. This can go back on now. I'll pop it back up here. If it will stay. Yes. Right, so to play some tunes, we need to make some room. I can't promise how good it will sound over the stream, but I do have some speakers, if I can get to them without pulling the cables of the cameras out. Just about. These were 15 quid from Cash and a Dash, I think it was. I think that's what it's called. And these are definitely a good size match for the power of this receiver. They're only 2 ways, but they'll do. I need some speaker wire. Is that it? That's not a lot. Oh well, it should reach if I cut it in half. Yeah, that should do. I haven't actually got an aerial in here, so we won't be able to listen to the FM. That's completely blocking that view, isn't it? Piss it off over there for a bit. I'm still in OBS, I need to go back to the YouTube view. Yeah, definitely going to be a content match incoming here. I don't know what tune to play. I need to plug the speakers in first and grab a 3.5mm to RCA adapter. Well, it might not work, it might have set on fire. in which case there'll be no tunes. But I am confident. I've already prepared these wires, but ain't no time for that. That'll do. Do this one first. Oh, it's these stupid screw-on terminals. They're right menace to get. They're meant for banana plugs, but you can just about squeeze bare wire in. The bottom right view from where you're looking will be here. No, it'll be here. The Stitch mug from Paris, straight from France. The Sports Direct mug is down here, but I haven't watched it since last stream. Still there. Right, has this gone in? It's gone in enough. These speakers were made in England. That's rare. Right, that's in enough. Whip that round. That's not going to reach, is it? You scumbag. That one should, which is the longer one. Do I not have any more? I'm sure I have some more. Somewhere. This will probably do. I'll nick the one off of here. There we go. Try and get a clean cut on it. Will that reach? There is definitely some speaker wire somewhere, but yeah, it's very true. Washing it is bad. Well, I'll have a brew in it and then I'll have a cold drink in it, so it kind of mixes. If it was purely a brew cup, I would just leave it. Which one's the longer one here? Right, this will reach. It just needs convincing that it wants to reach. There we go. Get in there. Which channel set is this? A. Right, that's the right one. This will probably reach, to be honest. I haven't cut it though. Right, you go in there. You go here. I should have definitely screwed it into here first, but whatever. Is that in? No. Let me sit down. Just block the camera there. Actually, I'm going to have to take it out of here because I can't see shit. There we go. Chuck it on here carefully. They're not touching, are they? No, cool. Right, that's in, that's in. Let me move this out of the way so that it can go flush with the other one. Like so. Right, I'm going to go and grab a 3.5mm 2RCA cable and something to play tunes off. Right, I have a worse. Things to play tunes with. I just need to log into this. I don't want to set up a passkey. I want to play some tunes. Why email me a code? Which is the easiest to get to? That one. Menace. Sign in. Should have brought the tape deck down, it'd be a damn sight faster. Yes. Code. Code to play some tunes. Right then. Should let me in. Yes, there we go. Right, let's plug the cable in. And the power, which is down here. Where's the cable gone? I just had it, now it's here. Input, auxiliary, right and left. These ones. I'll put this here. I'll just move the crap out of the way. If it'll fit. That is a wise choice. I think it should be on here. There we go. Any minute now. Phone's completely blocked by the speaker, but it's fine. There we go. Right, music. Sort by artist. This one. Have a think. We'll have this one. I've never listened to it before, but it'll do. I'll set the output of the laptop to 70% to start with. I think that should be fine. Will it sit on here? There's not much room. Yeah, just about. I don't know where's best to put this, or if it'll actually matter. I think it'll be fine. Actually, let me unscrew. Where's this gone? I'll try and put it in front of them. I think that should be back. I'll put it on the receiver. We'll see how that goes. Put it there. That should be ready. Let me check that the sound's come back on OBS. I don't know, my mouse has gone. Yeah, it has. I'll adjust it in OBS as needed. Let's turn it on. Set it to aux auxiliary, A channel. Well, no popping, no screaming. It seems pretty okay. Loudness off for now. Let's hit play. Okay, it's making noises. It's going out of both channels. That sounds pretty good. I like that. What's that one? I don't know if this mic will pick up stereo. I doubt it. It's in the middle though. I have to go back to that. That sounds pretty good. I like that. Does the mic not like it? I wouldn't have thought it did. I'll probably better put in a separate video on YouTube of it. I mean, it's on top of there. I don't know if that's the best place for it. Whether or not it's just too loud. But it sounds fine in person. Let's have a different tune. Yeah, I imagine she would be. Yeah, it was probably clipping in OBS. I forgot to look at the graph to adjust it. What other tunes? This is a tune. Nah. Epic troll, am I right? I like this tune. Let me look at the peaking in OBS. That might just be a horrible noise. It probably is. But it sounds great in person. I mean, the controls weren't crackly before. They're definitely not now, because they've been cleaned. But all the buttons are working fine. They all feel good, at least. Treble and bass work. Off sound works. Umper tunes. Proper tunes, John. Proper tunes. Real tunes. Yeah, that sounds good. I don't know if I'll get... I mean, I can bring the AM antenna out. If I can figure out how to do it. I'll have to turn these lights off. It'll pick up nothing. There might just be nothing in here. Yeah, there's nothing in there at all. At least on AM. It's getting a bit of FM. Mid or 2 is usually quite strong. What if I grab my large screwdriver and I'll put it on the antenna socket? I don't know if that'll work or not, but I'll give it a go. Oh yeah, that's worked. There's something there. Yeah. Shut up. It'll need a antenna, but I haven't got one on me, so we can't really test that right now. But it picks them up there. The track I was just playing is 1999 by Prince. Top tune, as is the whole album. So that sounds good. I'll put a I can't see, it's over here. I'll put a video. I'll do some recordings of it without it peaking. The microphone probably doesn't like being there. Yeah, I'll do some nice videos, take some pictures, put them in a separate video. But it looks great, sounds great in person, especially with these reasonably sized speakers. Yeah, pretty much as good as it was, I think, electrically, as it came out of the factory. The power switch, which I thought would be a problem, like 0.2 ohms resistance, which is a great working switch. I'll put it in here as well, John, so you can copy it, because I mumble. But yeah, sounds really good. Let me bring this instead of looking at the back of that speaker. The blue lights are growing on me. I just don't think it matches the orange power light. I don't know, that's probably not going to focus at all now. But you get the gist, the blue. Yeah, a real nice stereo system. I think I paid 120 for it. And after the work, hopefully get 250 maybe, something like that. Start it off at. But yeah, it looks great. This, I'm impressed with how well this is cleaned up, considering it was all pitted with that polish we did today. That looks great. So I'm going to leave it there on that note. Again, I'll put a video up of the details. But yeah, fully working receiver. I need to pipe that down. Fully working receiver. Very happy with how it's come out. Yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. If you have, there will be more soon. I said at the start, I've ordered some VCRs, which I'll go over. I might stream them, I might make videos out of them, I'm not sure. I'll put some, I'll schedule some streams in with some stuff to do. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. I don't know when the next stream will be. When it is, I'll put a community post in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Have a good evening. I'll hopefully join you next time.